Hello ladies and gentlemen, Briar Bennett here with Cousins Outdoors. Today we're going to show you how to set up your brand new baitcaster to get out on the water. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is everything that we are going to need to oil and grease our brand new fishing reel. Going to need some oil. This is just some regular old gun oil I had laying around. This is some Permatex, some anti-seizing lubricant. This is just some grease. Shop rag to wipe off any excess grease or oil, and of course the reel. This is brand new. This is the Expert by Kuda Fishing. Alright, open up this bad boy. We gotta take this cover off. So some of them have a little knob down here that you just bend down and you twist it off. This one will just twist off. Real simple. Pull it off. And we're going to set the reel to the side for a moment. We're going to start with this piece first. If you look down in here, there's no oil in there, so we're going to put just one drop of oil in there. Don't want too much oil. Wipe off the oil I got on my hands. Now we want this bad boy. We're going to pull the spool out. And we can set that to the side. Now there's a little gear right in there that goes into your gear housing. We're just going to put one drop right in there. Missed. Don't miss like me, it'll make it easier. So I got about 1.5 drops in there. Now we can put this to the side. Now we're going to work on the spool. The spool doesn't have any grease on it, or any oil. Spool doesn't have any oil on it. That seems pretty standard for, surprisingly, a lot of companies. We're going to start on this side. We don't have a bearing on this side, but we are going to put a drop of oil on the top there. And it should run down the sides. And then without squeezing your bottle, you're just going to tip it over and run it around the outside. So we get a little bit of oil on the outside. Now we can flip her over. Put a little bit of oil on the outside. And then there is a little bearing right here on the bottom. We want to make sure we get oil on there. One drop will do. Then I just like to rub a little bit of oil right on there, and that'll go back down into that little gear. Make sure it falls in there completely. Make sure it's in there flush. Now we need our grease, our Permatex, our anti-seize lubricant, and this is going to go on this little bearing right here. Just put a little bit on there, cover it up, just like that. Now we don't need the Permatex anymore. No more grease. That's the only time you're going to put grease on there, unless you open up your gears, but I try not to play with that. Now we can put our spool back together the same way we took it apart. Now that's on there. Give it a couple turns. There's one more place that we need to put some oil. That is right on this worm guard down here. This little silver part down here. Drop on that side. Turn your reel so this eye guide moves over for your eye, for your line. Put another drop on the other side. Now we're going to turn it a bunch more times. And just like that, she's all lubed up. Wipe the reel off. So the first thing I like to do is put a little bit of backing on here. Oh, bumped camera. I like to use duct tape, preferably a bright color duct tape, so that when you get down to the end of your spool, you can see it. A lot of guys like to use like monofilament or fluorocarbon, but that can be hard to see when you're fishing. When you're not focused on what's on your spool. But then if you just glance down and see that bright color, it just kind of jumps out at you. This will help prevent your line from slipping when you hook set into that giant fish. And of course, we are sponsored by Venom Lures. So why would we not use Venom Lures fishing line? Push that on. Push this end on. Tighten them both up. Make sure it's straight. Make sure this is going to come off over it. Now we're going to feed the fishing line in. We want to make sure the guide is right down the middle. We also want to make sure our duct tape is sticking upwards. We're going to push it through the guide. And we're going to push it down with our tape. Now we're going to start very slowly so we can get a couple wraps on here. So we're going to start it very slow. Now I'll start picking up speed until I don't see the duct tape anymore. Keep on bumping you guys, I'm sorry. But do you see how the line kind of has a U shape in it up there? We want to fill in the center part as soon as possible, and then we can start moving the line over when we're reeling it to the left and to the right to fill in those gaps on the right and to the left of the spool. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit, show you guys that, and then I'll show you how I fill in those gaps when the center starts to fill up a little bit. Alright, so now, as you guys might be able to see, the center is filled up, and the sides, I'm trying to show you, the sides kind of dip inwards, like there's not much line on the outside, just in the little gaps. And how you do that is when you're reeling it in, it's starting to go to the left, I'll just push the line over with my hand, and it will keep the line over there a little bit longer as I'm reeling it in, and it'll fill in that gap. Same when it gets to this side, I'll just pull the line over and it'll fill that gap in a little bit. And my spool is now full. And I know what some of you are thinking, but Briar, it's not full, you got room on the sides. Well, you don't want to fill it up completely. If you fill her up completely and you get up past this line, you're gonna have backlashes like crazy. Cut the line. Put a little tape on here so that it can't go into the eye. And we're good to go. Well, that is it for today's video, guys. Don't forget to check these reels out at kudafishing.com. And don't forget to go check out Venom Lures to check out their 8-strand braided line. I think I could haul a truck with this stuff. Go check them out, venomlures.com and kudafishing.com. Get your tornado and your expert. Go have a good time on the lake, guys. Don't forget, this is a channel where family matters most. And when in doubt, jerk it out. See you guys next time.